HURIDAC-TV World News. I am Kure with the Newspotlight. The Community Court of Justice of the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS has fixed June 22nd for a hearing on a motion in a suit challenging the decision of the federal government of Nigeria to suspend the operation of the microblogging platform Twitter in the country. The plaintiffs are the registered trustees of the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) and 420 Nigerians, including former Minister of Education Obi Ezekwesili and the co-founder of the Bring Back Our Girls movement Aisha Yusufu. The court, in a notice to the plaintiff's lawyer, Mr. Femi Falana, and the respondent's counsel, Mrs. Maimuna Lami Shiru, stated that the hearing will be held virtually. In the suit, the plaintiffs are seeking an order of interim injunction restraining the federal government of Nigeria from implementing its suspension of Twitter in Nigeria and subjecting anyone, including media houses and broadcast stations, from using Twitter in Nigeria to harassment, intimidation, arrest, and criminal prosecution. As Ethiopia prepares to hold its crucial but twice delayed election across the country on the 21st of June 2021, there is a growing concern over the credibility of the vote, as well as famine in the war-torn TIGRAY region. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who was appointed in 2018 after years of anti-government unrest, craves a popular mandate through the competitive election to cement a promised democratic rebirth in Africa's second most populous nation. Sierra Leonean citizens continue to protest the unprecedented government-planned industrial harbour in a large village in the West African country, with concerns that the Chinese finance project will destroy the pristine rainforest and pollute the ocean. Last month, the Sierra Leonean government announced plans to build a fishing harbour and processing complex in Black Johnson village, a tourist attraction 35 kilometers south of the capital Freetown. This controversy continued to cause tension between the development and conservation fabrics in Sierra Leone and comes even as the government is seeking to promote ecotourism to boost its economy.
We know what the Chinese are capable of doing. If this happens, it will get very bad. We know them from when we used to engage in fishing activities here. They will hit us with their vessels, destroy our fishing nets, and the authorities will never look into it. The Chinese will always go free. None came to help.
The Elders of Global Independent Leaders Working for Peace and Human Rights, a group founded by South Africa's late President Nelson Mandela in 2007, have urged the G7 club of rich nations comprising Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK and the US to provide more funding to deal with climate change and surplus COVID-19 vaccine for developing countries as an act of global solidarity at their meeting of June 2021 in the UK. This request is coming even as climate change is impacting communities and economies around the world, with devastating floods, drought destroying crops, and an increase in pest infestation that is leading to famine in many parts of Africa. Earlier, a new report by Amnesty International reveals that the world's richest governments are condemning billions of people to starvation, drought, and displacement through their continued support for the fossil fuel industry. Ethiopia has rejected the option of an Arab League resolution calling on the United Nations Security Council to intervene in the lingering dispute between the country, Egypt and Sudan over a massive dam Addis Ababa is building on the Blue Nile, the Nile River's main tributary. Ethiopia is pinning its hopes of economic development and power generation on the dam, while Egypt relies on the river for as much as 90% of its fresh water and sees the new dam as an existential threat. Sudan, on the other hand, is concerned about the operation of its Nile dams and water stations. Last year, the three nations were close to reaching a US-brokered accord, but Ethiopia walked out of the signing meeting, accusing former United States President Donald Trump's administration of siding with Egypt. The African Union is currently mediating the dispute, and Cairo and Khartoum have repeatedly called for the US, the EU, and the United Nations to mediate as well, but Addis Ababa rejected the idea. Peru's leftist presidential candidate Pedro Castillo has claimed victory on Tuesday after the final votes were counted from Peru's June 6 presidential election, even as his rival right-wing candidate Keiko Fujimori disputes the outcome. Although vote counts have been completed, the result is yet to be officially announced by the election authorities. Castillo seeks to defend his narrow lead in the election held 9 days ago that Fujimori is disputing, even as she fights to avoid an imminent corruption trial. The Peruvians voted last Sunday for their fifth president in 3 years after a series of crisis and corruption scandals that saw 3 different leaders in office in a single week last November. And that is the HURIDAC-TV News Spotlight for Thursday, 17th June 2021. Thanks for watching. I am Kure.